Why do you smell like someone I have been looking for? Logan Reed asked, and Ryan Carter forgot every argument he had prepared for the meeting. 5 seconds earlier, they had been standing on opposite sides of a conference table arguing over a client forecast. Ryan had called Logan's strategy unnecessarily aggressive. Logan had called Ryan's projections painfully cautious. Derek had wisely taken his laptop and escaped 20 minutes earlier, leaving the two most competitive consultants in the company alone on the 32nd floor. Normal Tuesday night. Then Ryan's scent blocker failed. He felt it before Logan reacted, a faint warmth beneath his collar followed by the unmistakable realization that the medication patch behind his shoulder had stopped doing its job. Ryan went still. No, absolutely not. He had survived graduate school, brutal consulting interviews, 70-hour work weeks, and 3 years of competing with Logan Reed without anyone discovering he was an Omega. He was not losing that record because of defective pharmacy adhesive. Logan stopped speaking. His expression changed with unsettling speed. Not aggression. Recognition. What? Ryan asked, too quickly. Logan inhaled once, then immediately stepped backward. The distance mattered. Ryan noticed despite himself. That scent, Logan said. I do not know what you are talking about. Ryan. Do not Ryan me. Logan's gray-blue eyes narrowed. You have been registered internally as beta since you joined this firm. Ryan closed his laptop. Congratulations on remembering human resources paperwork. That is not a beta scent. The words landed quietly. Ryan's pulse accelerated. He hated that Logan could notice anything about him beyond spreadsheets and presentation decks. More than that, he hated the strange flicker of confusion crossing Logan's face. Stay where you are, Ryan said. Logan stopped immediately. I was not moving. Good. Continue doing that. Logan lifted both hands slightly, a silent acknowledgement of the boundary. Are you okay? That was somehow more irritating than arrogance. Perfect. My favorite coworker just started analyzing how I smell. Truly an excellent evening. Favorite. Do not get excited. Logan almost smiled, but the expression disappeared when another trace of Ryan's uncovered scent reached the room. Cedar after rain mixed with something lighter, clean linen warmed by sunlight. Ryan knew his own scent profile. He had spent years making sure nobody else did. Logan looked genuinely shaken now. I have smelled this before. Ryan's irritation vanished. No, you have not. Yes. We have never been close enough for you to smell my natural scent. Logan stared at him. I did not say I smelled it from you. Silence settled across the conference room. Beyond the windows, Manhattan glittered 32 floors below them, entirely indifferent to Ryan's rapidly deteriorating evening. What is that supposed to mean? Ryan asked. Logan looked toward the glass wall, as if searching through an old memory. College. 8 years ago, there was a blackout in my residence hall during a storm. Ryan's stomach tightened. No. Logan continued slowly. Someone was there in the stairwell. I could not see his face. Emergency lights were out. He smelled exactly like this. Ryan's fingers tightened around the edge of his laptop. 8 years ago. A blackout. A dorm stairwell. The night Ryan's secondary presentation had started without warning. The night he had hidden in darkness because his scent blockers had not existed yet. Logan looked back at him. Ryan. Do not. You were there. Ryan forced a laugh that sounded convincing to nobody. That is ridiculous. Logan did not move closer. He simply watched him with an expression Ryan had never seen during any argument, presentation, or competition between them. Not victory. Not certainty. Wonder. Then tell me why, Logan said quietly. My body remembered you before I did. Ryan stared at Logan across the conference room and decided denial was still a perfectly respectable strategy. You are remembering a storm from 8 years ago and assigning meaning to it because my blocker failed for 5 minutes. Logan stayed exactly where he was. Maybe. Good. We agree. I did not say that. You were close enough. Ryan reached behind his shoulder and pressed the edge of the faulty patch back into place, as if adhesive alone could restore his dignity. It did not. His scent was still faintly present in the room, softened now but impossible to ignore. Logan noticed the movement and looked away immediately, giving Ryan privacy without making a performance of it. That irritated Ryan for reasons he refused to examine. There was someone in that stairwell, Logan said. He sounded terrified. Ryan's hand stopped. Memory returned in fragments. Rain hammering the dorm windows. Emergency lights dead. His first uncontrolled presentation arriving at the worst possible time. A stranger somewhere below him in the stairwell saying, "I will stay down here. You are safe." Ryan had never seen the stranger's face. He had only remembered the voice. Calm. Low. Annoyingly steady. His stomach sank. "What did you say to him?" Ryan asked before he could stop himself. Logan's expression sharpened. "So you do remember. I asked a question. You always do that when you are avoiding one. And you always become unbearable when you think you are right." "That sounds familiar too." Ryan glared at him. Logan almost smiled, then wisely decided against it. "I told him I would keep my distance," Logan said. "I stayed on the lower landing until campus security restored the lights." Ryan remembered. The stranger had never climbed the stairs, never tried to identify him, never asked what secondary gender he was. Just stayed nearby while Ryan fought through panic and waited for the suppressant Mia had brought from across campus. "You left before the lights came back," Logan continued. "I heard the door open upstairs." Ryan looked toward the windows. "Maybe it was me." Logan went very still. Ryan immediately regretted the admission. "Maybe," Logan asked. "Do not make this dramatic. You just confirmed you were there." "I confirmed that I may have been in the same building during a blackout 8 years ago." "Ryan, there were hundreds of students in that residence hall. Only one smelled like this." Ryan turned back sharply. "That is exactly the problem." Logan's expression changed. "What is?" "You were talking about scent like it proves something." Ryan closed his laptop with more force than necessary. "It does not prove that you know me. It does not prove that we have some ridiculous biological connection. It does not give you ownership of a memory I spent years trying to forget." Logan's face lost every trace of teasing. "I never said it did. You said your body remembered me." "It did. That does not mean anything." Logan nodded slowly. "Maybe not." Ryan blinked, caught off guard. "That is all. What do you want me to say?" "I expected an alpha lecture about instinct." Logan looked almost offended. "I am not 19 anymore." Ryan folded his arms. "Congratulations. And I do not think instinct gets to make decisions for me." The answer landed more softly than Ryan wanted. Logan continued. "I recognize something. That is all. I am not claiming anything." Ryan searched his face for arrogance and found none. "That was inconvenient." "Then stop looking at me like you solved a mystery." Logan exhaled. "I have spent 8 years wondering who was in that stairwell." "Why?" Logan hesitated. For the first time that night, he looked uncertain. "Because I never forgot how worried I was about someone I could not even see." Ryan's chest tightened. He hated that answer most of all because it sounded true. Logan glanced toward the conference room door. "I can leave first if you want time for the blocker to settle." Ryan looked at him. "You would do that? You asked me to stay back. I am staying back. Simple. No heroics. No alpha performance." Ryan swallowed. "Fine." Logan gathered his laptop and walked toward the door. Before leaving, he stopped without turning around. "For what it is worth, I did not spend 8 years looking for an omega." Ryan frowned. "Then what were you looking for?" Logan glanced back over his shoulder. "The person who made me remember one dark stairwell longer than anything else from college." Then he left, and Ryan stood alone in the conference room wishing that answer had annoyed him more than it did. 8 years earlier, Ryan Carter had learned that becoming an omega was apparently something his body planned to announce without consulting him. The blackout hit just after midnight during a September storm, shutting down most of Hawthorne Hall in less than a second. One moment Ryan was walking back from the study lounge with a backpack full of economics notes. The next, the hallway disappeared into darkness and emergency alarms began chirping somewhere downstairs. "Perfect," Ryan muttered. Then the first wave of scent rolled off him. He froze. He had known his secondary presentation was late. His doctor had warned him it could happen suddenly. None of those warnings had included being trapped in a dorm stairwell with no power, no blocker, and approximately zero dignity. Ryan pressed himself against the cool concrete wall and tried to breathe slowly. Cedar after rain. Clean linen warmed by sunlight. His scent filled the enclosed space faster than he could control it. No. No, no, no. Footsteps sounded below him. Ryan's heart jumped. "Do not come up here." The footsteps stopped immediately. A male voice answered from the lower landing. "Okay." Ryan blinked into the dark. "That is it. You told me not to come up." People usually argue. Sounds exhausting. Despite everything, Ryan almost laughed. "Are you an alpha?" Silence for half a second. "Yes." Ryan closed his eyes. "Wonderful. Naturally, the universe had apparently developed comedic timing. Then stay down there. I am staying down here. The stranger's voice remained calm, low, and steady. Ryan could hear rain pounding against the narrow stairwell window somewhere between floors. Campus security is checking the building, the stranger said. They should have backup lights soon. Great. Do you need me to call someone? Ryan thought of Mia across campus. My sister. I already texted her before the signal dropped. Okay. Another pause. Do you need anything else? A new endocrine system would be excellent. The stranger laughed softly. Ryan hated how reassuring the sound was. I cannot help with that. Then congratulations, you are useless. You sound less panicked now. Ryan frowned into the darkness. Was that your plan? Maybe. Ryan slid down onto the top step, keeping as much distance as possible between them. Do not get proud of yourself. Would not dream of it. They waited. 5 minutes. Then 10. The stranger never climbed higher. Never asked Ryan's name. Never commented on the scent except once, when Ryan apologized for it. You do not have to apologize for existing, the stranger said. Ryan had gone quiet after that. Nobody in his family had ever phrased it that way. His parents had already started talking about accommodations, safety, career limitations, and how different things might become if Ryan presented Omega. Different. Softer. Smaller. Ryan hated every version of the future they described. You do not know anything about me, Ryan said. True. Then how do you know I do not need to apologize? The stranger answered easily. Because nobody does for something they did not choose. Before Ryan could respond, a dim emergency light flickered on below. Enough to outline the stairwell, not enough to make out faces clearly. Ryan heard the upper door open. Mia's voice called his name from the hallway. Relief hit so quickly his knees almost gave out. I have to go, Ryan said. Go. You are not going to ask who I am? If you want me to know, you will tell me. Ryan hesitated. He almost did. Then embarrassment won. He slipped through the upper door before the lights fully returned. He never saw the stranger's face. Years later, Ryan would forget the storm, the classes, even the name of the professor whose exam he had been studying for. But he never forgot the voice that stayed one floor below and never once crossed the distance he had asked for. By Wednesday morning, Ryan had convinced himself the stairwell memory changed nothing. This was an impressive lie, especially considering he had slept 4 hours, reread the same client email 6 times, and nearly poured orange juice into his coffee. At 9:15, Logan walked into the strategy meeting carrying 2 folders and acting completely normal. Ryan found this offensive. You are late, Ryan said. Logan checked the clock. By 30 seconds. A pattern begins somewhere. Derek looked between them and sighed. Good morning to you both. The meeting started, and for 20 minutes Ryan almost forgot everything. Almost. Logan challenged his projections. Ryan dismantled Logan's assumptions. Derek quietly moved his chair farther from the center of the table, which was either practical risk management or cowardice. Then Logan said, Your conversion estimate is too conservative. Ryan looked up. Your estimate assumes clients behave like obedient spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are usually more cooperative than you. That is because spreadsheets cannot identify bad strategy. Derek closed his notebook. I'm going to pretend this is professional chemistry. Ryan and Logan spoke at the same time. It is not. Derek smiled. Sure. The room settled again, but Ryan could feel Logan watching him differently now. Not constantly. That would have been easier to hate. Instead, Logan noticed small things. When Ryan adjusted the collar hiding his blocker patch, Logan looked away. When another alpha from finance entered the room, Logan shifted his chair slightly farther from Ryan instead of closer. Nothing dramatic. Nothing anyone else would notice. Ryan noticed all of it. That was the problem. At lunch, Logan caught him alone near the break room. How is the blocker? Ryan nearly dropped his water bottle. Could you say that louder? I do not think accounting heard you. Logan lowered his voice. Sorry. Do not ask me that at work. Understood. Ryan started to leave. Logan stepped aside immediately, giving him the hallway. I have not told anyone. Ryan stopped. I did not ask. I know. Then why are you telling me? Logan leaned against the wall, keeping several feet between them. Because you looked like you were waiting for me to use it against you. Ryan's jaw tightened. You are my rival. Professionally, you enjoy beating me. Professionally, you smiled for an entire afternoon after winning the Mercer account. That was personal. Ryan glared at him. Logan's mouth twitched. But this is not. The humor faded. Your secondary status is yours to disclose. Not mine. Ryan studied him carefully. You could gain an advantage. Logan frowned. By exposing private medical information? People have done worse for promotion. Then they are terrible consultants and worse people. The answer came too quickly to be rehearsed. Ryan hated that it sounded sincere. You are ruining my opinion of you, he said. I can be more annoying if that helps. It would restore balance. Logan smiled. For half a second, Ryan remembered a dark stairwell and a voice saying he did not have to apologize for existing. He looked away first. One more thing, Logan said. Ryan sighed. You always have one more thing. I remembered something else from that night. Ryan froze. What? Logan's expression turned thoughtful. You said your sister was coming. Ryan said nothing. Mia, Logan continued quietly. Someone called that name from upstairs. Ryan's stomach dropped. Logan did not look triumphant. That somehow made it worse. You are building a case, Ryan said. No, you have evidence. I have memories. Ryan folded his arms. Same difference. Logan shook his head. Not to me. He paused. I do not need you to admit it. Ryan looked at him sharply. Then what do you need? Logan met his eyes. Nothing. The word landed strangely. I spent 8 years wondering who that person was. Now I think I know. That does not mean you owe me confirmation. Ryan stared at him. Logan pushed away from the wall. We still have a client presentation at 2. And I am still going to beat your forecast. Logan's familiar confidence returned. There you are. Ryan narrowed his eyes. What does that mean? Logan started walking backward toward the conference rooms. Nothing, Carter. Ryan watched him go, irritated by the smile he could hear in Logan's voice. The worst part was not that Logan remembered him. The worst part was that Ryan was beginning to remember Logan too. Ryan realized the problem with rivalry was that it gave attraction too many places to hide. You could call it irritation when someone's voice pulled your attention across a room. You could call it competitiveness when you noticed the exact moment they loosened their tie after a long meeting. You could call it professional concern when you remembered how they took their coffee. Ryan had been doing all three for almost 2 years. The discovery was deeply inconvenient. Thursday afternoon made it worse. Their team was preparing for the final Mercer expansion review, and Logan had rewritten one of Ryan's slides without asking. Ryan stared at the screen. You changed my forecast. Logan did not look up from his laptop. I corrected the assumptions. You vandalized the assumptions. Derek slowly removed his coffee from the center of the table. I have learned to protect liquids when you two start talking like this. Logan clicked to the next slide. Your growth estimate is too cautious. Your growth estimate requires the laws of economics to develop optimism. Logan finally looked at him. You hate risk. I hate pretending risk is a personality trait. Derek whispered. This is better than streaming television. Ryan ignored him. What he could not ignore was the way Logan's expression changed when Ryan challenged him. Not anger. Interest. The same sharp focus Logan gave difficult problems. Ryan had always assumed it meant Logan wanted to win. Now he was less certain. After the meeting, Derek left first with suspicious enthusiasm, claiming he had a dentist appointment at 4:30 on a Thursday. Ryan packed his laptop while Logan remained by the screen. You know, Logan said, I did not hate your forecast. Ryan glanced over. That is not what your editing suggested. I hated that it was better than mine. Ryan stopped. Logan smiled faintly. There is a difference. You are admitting I was right? Do not make me regret honesty. Ryan folded his arms. I need this in writing. Logan laughed. The sound pulled another unwanted memory from 8 years earlier. Dark stairwell. Rain. Calm voice. Ryan looked down at his bag. You really did not recognize me when I joined the firm? Logan's smile faded. No, not even a little. I thought you were irritating within 10 minutes. That is comforting. You corrected me in front of 12 executives. You were wrong. You smiled while doing it. Ryan blinked. I did not. You absolutely did. Logan leaned against the conference table, keeping his usual respectful distance. I remember thinking nobody had annoyed me that quickly in years. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Romantic. I am not trying to be romantic. Good. You are terrible at it. Logan's mouth twitched. The strange part is that I kept noticing you after that. Ryan's pulse shifted. Professionally. That is what I told myself. Silence. Ryan should have made a joke. He had several available. Instead, he asked why. Logan looked genuinely uncertain. You challenged everything. You never treated me like being an alpha or being senior on the account made me automatically right. Because neither does. Exactly. Logan paused. And every time you beat me, I wanted another chance. Ryan stared at him. You are describing competition. Maybe. Definitely. Then why are you nervous? Ryan's eyes narrowed. I am not nervous. You are holding your laptop bag like it personally betrayed you. Ryan immediately loosened his grip. Logan smiled. Annoying. You have mentioned that. Ryan looked toward the windows. Manhattan was turning gold in the late afternoon light. Maybe we were always going to dislike each other. Logan considered that. Maybe. And the scent thing is making you rewrite history. Possible. Ryan glanced back. You agree too easily when I am insulting your theory. Because I do not want a theory deciding this. That stopped him. Logan continued quietly. Whatever happened 8 years ago, whatever our scent profiles are doing now, I do not want that to become the explanation for every feeling we have had since. Ryan's shoulders eased before he could stop them. Good. Logan nodded. Good. Another silence settled between them, less hostile than usual, and somehow much more dangerous. Ryan picked up his bag. For the record, my forecast is still better. Logan smiled. That part one definitely hate. Ryan walked toward the door. See? Rivalry restored. Behind him, Logan said, Carter. Ryan turned. Logan's expression was thoughtful. I think I noticed you long before I recognized the scent. Ryan held his gaze for 1 second too long. That sounds like your problem. Logan smiled. It probably is. Ryan left before his own expression could betray him, but the thought followed him all the way home. Maybe their rivalry had never started because they disliked each other. Maybe disliking each other had simply been the safest name for paying too much attention. By Monday morning, Ryan had reached the conclusion that uncertainty was worse than bad news. Uncertainty made him reread medical articles at 2 in the morning. Uncertainty made him search phrases like scent memory duration and alpha-omega compatibility until even the search engine seemed tired of him. By 10, he had called Dr. Emily Hart and taken the first available appointment. Her office occupied the 4th floor of a quiet medical building on the Upper East Side. All soft gray walls, plants, and the kind of lighting designed to convince patients that biology was less terrifying when surrounded by tasteful furniture. Ryan sat across from her with his arms folded while she reviewed his history. You have been using blockers continuously for how long? She asked. Almost 8 years. Dr. Hart looked over her glasses. That is a long time. I enjoy consistency. You enjoy control. Ryan considered objecting, then decided she had earned that one. Maybe both. She nodded toward the test results on her tablet. Nothing here suggests your blocker is unsafe. The recent failures are more likely related to stress, dosage timing, and increased scent response. Ryan's stomach tightened. Increased response to one person. That matters. I was hoping you would say it did not. Dr. Hart smiled slightly. Then you came to the wrong specialist. Ryan sighed. Fine. Explain it without using the phrase destined mate. I was not planning to. Good. I would leave. Also dramatic. I am having a difficult week. Dr. Hart turned the tablet so he could see a simple chart. Scent memory is real. The brain can retain strong associations with scent for years, especially when the original exposure happened during secondary presentation or a highly emotional event. Ryan stared at the graph. So my body remembers him. Your nervous system may recognize a scent pattern associated with him. That sounds less embarrassing. That is why I phrased it that way. Ryan leaned back. And the fact that my scent reacts more strongly around Logan? Dr. Hart tapped another section of the results. Your compatibility markers are unusually high. Ryan closed his eyes. Of course they are. Ryan. I know. Medical information. Very serious. Compatibility does not equal destiny. He opened his eyes again. Say that twice. It does not mean you belong to him. It does not mean he belongs to you. It does not guarantee attraction, trust, or a successful relationship. Ryan's shoulders loosened slightly. So this is just chemistry. Partly. And the rest. Memory. Context. Emotion. Whatever relationship already exists between you. Ryan frowned. We are rivals. Then, that is part of the context. That seems unfair. Dr. Hart smiled. Biology rarely consults fairness. Ryan looked at the chart again. What if I stop using blockers? You should not stop suddenly. We can reduce them gradually if that is something you want. Would my scent get stronger around him? Possibly. Wonderful. Would that change your personality? No, your intelligence? No, your work. Ryan gave her a look. I understand your point. Dr. Hart leaned back. I am not asking whether your body reacts to Logan. I am asking whether you want that reaction to decide anything for you. Ryan thought of Logan in the conference room, stepping back the moment Ryan asked. Logan at 19, staying one floor below in darkness. Logan admitting that he had noticed Ryan long before recognizing the scent. No, Ryan said. Good. That sounded too easy. Because the hard part is what you choose after knowing the answer. Ryan hated doctors who made simple sentences complicated. One more question. Go ahead. If his body remembers me too, does that mean he is experiencing the same thing? Dr. Hart considered it. Not necessarily in the same way. But if he recognized your scent after 8 years, the association was probably significant. Ryan looked toward the window. Cars moved along the avenue below, ordinary and unconcerned. That is deeply annoying. Dr. Hart laughed. You seem disappointed that it is not destiny. Ryan turned back immediately. I am relieved. You can be both. I am not. Of course. Ryan stood and reached for his coat. At the door, he stopped. So the official medical conclusion is that my body remembers an irritating alpha from college. Dr. Hart smiled. The official medical conclusion is that your scent compatibility is high and your memory association is strong. Ryan opened the door. Mine was shorter. Outside the building, he checked his phone. One message waited from Logan. Meeting moved to 3. Also, I fixed your forecast slide. Ryan stared at it for 2 seconds before typing back. If you touch my numbers, I am reporting you to finance. Logan replied almost immediately. There you are. Ryan looked at the screen and smiled before he could stop himself. That was the truly inconvenient part. The doctor had explained the scent. She had not explained why Ryan was starting to enjoy being remembered. The company retreat was supposed to be simple. 2 days in a conference center outside the city, 1 client workshop, 1 leadership dinner, and approximately 12 opportunities for Ryan to regret agreeing to attend. By 4 in the afternoon, he was already on opportunity number 9. The workshop room was too warm, the air conditioning had stopped working properly, and 20 consultants were crowded around tables pretending not to be exhausted. Ryan felt the first warning beneath his collar. Heat. Not dangerous. Not dramatic. Just enough to make his stomach drop. His blocker was failing again. Of course, he muttered. Derek looked over. What? Nothing. Ryan reached for his water and realized Logan was watching him from across the room. Not staring. Watching. There was a difference, and Ryan had become annoyingly good at noticing it. Logan's expression changed almost immediately. Recognition. Then concern. Ryan gave him the smallest possible shake of his head. Do not. Logan looked toward the rest of the team. For 1 second, Ryan expected him to come over. Instead, Logan stood and addressed the room. We are taking 10 minutes. Derek frowned. We just took 10 minutes. Then congratulations. You are getting another one. Someone laughed. Logan continued as if nothing unusual was happening. The ventilation in here is terrible. Take your laptops outside. We will finish the exercise on the terrace. The room emptied with surprising speed. Consultants had apparently been waiting for permission to escape. Derek grabbed his notebook. You coming? Ryan looked at the door. In a minute. Fine. I am stealing your chair outside. You already stole my charger this morning. Borrowed. Without permission. Derek left before Ryan could continue the argument. Within 30 seconds, the room was almost empty. Logan remained near the door, still several feet away. Do you want me to leave too? He asked. Ryan pressed the blocker patch beneath his collar. Yes. Logan nodded immediately. Okay. He opened the door, then paused. There is cold water in the hallway. I can leave one outside. Ryan looked at him. You do not have to manage me. I know. Then stop sounding like you are managing me. Logan's mouth twitched. Would you prefer careless indifference? It would be more consistent with your personality. There you are. Ryan rolled his eyes. Go. Logan left. He did not close the door completely. Just enough for privacy, while keeping air moving through the room. Ryan noticed that too. 10 minutes later, his blocker settled. When he stepped into the hallway, a bottle of water sat on the bench outside. No note. No dramatic gesture. Just water. Ryan picked it up and found Logan on the terrace arguing with Derek about presentation timing as if nothing had happened. That should have made the moment easier. Instead, it made Ryan's chest feel strangely tight. Logan had noticed first. Logan had protected his privacy without announcing that he was doing it. And then Logan had gone back to work. No claim. No questions. No expectation of gratitude. Later that evening, after dinner, Ryan found him alone near the lobby coffee station. You cleared the room because of me. Logan glanced over. The ventilation really was terrible. You are a bad liar. That is disappointing. I thought I was excellent. Ryan folded his arms. You knew? Yes. And you did not say anything. You asked me not to. Ryan looked at him for a long moment. Most alphas would have reacted differently. Logan's expression became serious. I am not most alphas. That sounded arrogant. It was meant to sound factual. Ryan almost smiled. Still arrogant. Logan accepted that with a small nod. Ryan looked down at the unopened water bottle still in his hand. Thank you. Logan blinked. I am sorry, could you repeat that? I think the building shifted. Do not ruin it. Too late. Ryan shook his head, but he was smiling now. Logan's expression softened. You are welcome. For once, the silence between them did not feel like rivalry. It felt like trust beginning quietly enough that neither of them could pretend not to notice it. The week after the retreat, Ryan and Logan were assigned to the same account, which Ryan considered proof that senior management either had a sense of humor or a personal grudge. The client was a national retail company preparing a major expansion, and by Tuesday afternoon, Ryan had already rewritten 3 of Logan's assumptions, rejected 2 of his timelines, and described one slide as optimistic fiction with a bar chart. Logan took it surprisingly well. You know, he said from the other side of the conference table, most people try to be diplomatic with their project lead. Ryan looked up from his laptop. Most people are afraid of you. And you are not. I have seen you lose an argument about Pluto to a 6-year-old in my imagination at least twice this week. Logan stared at him. That sentence made no sense. It made enough. Derek, sitting between them, slowly closed his notebook. I am going to find coffee before this becomes whatever this is. It is work, Ryan said. It is absolutely not, Derek replied as he left. The door clicked shut. Ryan returned to the forecast. Your store rollout is too fast. Logan leaned over the printed timeline. The client wants speed. The client also wants to remain solvent. You always assume the worst-case scenario. You always assume confidence is a substitute for math. Logan looked at him for a long second. You know what your problem is? Ryan smiled without warmth. Please, I have been waiting all day for free consulting. You think every disagreement is someone trying to control you. Ryan's expression changed. Excuse me. Logan immediately realized he had crossed somewhere dangerous. That came out wrong. No. Finish it. Ryan, you started. Logan leaned back, keeping the space between them open. I am saying that sometimes I challenge you because I disagree. Not because I am trying to outrank you, manage you, or make decisions for you. Ryan closed his laptop. You are an alpha who spent the last 2 weeks telling me your instincts recognized my scent from 8 years ago. Logan's face tightened. And every time I have told you that instinct does not decide anything. Then stop acting like you own the room every time we disagree. Silence. The sentence hung there sharper than Ryan intended. Logan did not answer immediately. When he did, his voice was quiet. I do not want to own anything about you. Ryan's anger faltered. Logan continued. Not the room. Not your scent. Not your decisions. Not whatever happened in that stairwell. Ryan looked away. You say that, but you still walk into meetings like the final answer arrived with you. That is fair. Ryan turned back, suspicious. Do not agree with me just to end the argument. I am agreeing because it is fair. Logan rubbed one hand over the back of his neck. I have spent most of my career being rewarded for taking control quickly. Sometimes I forget that confidence can look like permission I was never given. Ryan had several sarcastic responses ready. None survived that sentence. Logan looked at the timeline again. So tell me where I am wrong. You want the professional version? Preferably. Ryan opened his laptop again. Your rollout assumes all 12 regional teams can retrain staff in 6 weeks. They cannot. Logan studied the numbers. 8 weeks. 10. That is painfully slow. That is realistic. Logan sighed. 8.5. Ryan stared at him. You cannot bargain with operational capacity like this is a used car. 9. 10. Logan looked at him. 9.5. Ryan considered it. With contingency funding. Logan smiled. Deal. The tension in the room shifted. Not gone. Just different. Ryan hated how easy it suddenly felt to breathe. Logan leaned back. For the record, I am trying. Ryan glanced up. At what? Not taking up more space than you give me. Ryan studied him. You are still annoying. That part is intentional. Ryan finally smiled. Good. I was worried personal growth had ruined you. Logan's expression softened. Not yet. And somewhere between revised timelines, bad jokes, and an argument neither of them had technically won, Ryan realized trust was becoming more dangerous than rivalry ever had been. The rumor started on a Wednesday morning and reached Ryan before his second cup of coffee. Derek was the one who told him, which meant the situation had already passed the stage where pretending it did not exist was useful. He appeared beside Ryan's desk with the expression of someone carrying bad news and trying not to make it worse. Do not react dramatically. Ryan looked up. That sentence has never improved anything. Derek glanced toward the glass offices across the floor. Someone from operations heard about the retreat. Ryan's stomach tightened. Heard what? Derek hesitated. That was enough. Ryan closed his laptop. Say it. That you are an Omega. The office around him kept moving. Phones rang. Keyboards clicked. Someone laughed near the elevators. Ryan heard all of it too clearly. Who told them? I do not know. Logan. The name came out faster than he wanted. Derek immediately shook his head. No, I do not think so. You do not think so. Ryan, that is not an answer. Derek lowered his voice. The story is that someone noticed your scent during the retreat. Then people started connecting things. Ryan's hands went cold. 8 years of blockers. 8 years of making sure nobody could turn his secondary gender into the first sentence of his professional biography. Gone because someone noticed something in a conference room. There is more, Derek said quietly. Ryan laughed once. Of course there is. Derek looked uncomfortable. People are saying Logan gave you the lead strategy work because of it. Ryan stared at him. Because I am an Omega. Derek nodded reluctantly. Because they think he is favoring you. I built that strategy. I know. I beat his forecast. I know. I fixed the rollout assumptions. Ryan, I know. The anger came clean and sharp, almost easier than fear. Ryan stood. Where is he? Derek caught the edge of his sleeve, then immediately let go. Think before you do anything. I am thinking. No, you are moving quickly while angry. Different skill set. Ryan ignored him and walked toward Logan's office. The door was open. Logan looked up from a call, saw Ryan's face, and ended it immediately. What happened? Did you tell anyone? Logan's expression changed. About what? Do not. Ryan closed the door behind him. Did you tell anyone I am an Omega? Logan stood. No. Did you mention the retreat? No. Did you tell anyone about my blocker? Absolutely not. Ryan searched his face. He wanted to believe him. That was the problem. People know. Logan's jaw tightened. Who? Apparently everyone who enjoys gossip before lunch. Logan stepped around the desk, but stopped several feet away. What are they saying? Ryan folded his arms tightly. That you favor me. That I got the strategy lead because I am your Omega. The last 2 words tasted wrong. Logan went completely still. You are not my anything. Ryan looked at him sharply. Logan continued, voice controlled. Not in the way they mean it. Ryan's anger wavered. They are saying my work is not mine. Then they are wrong. That does not make it disappear. Logan looked toward the conference floor through the glass wall. I will handle it. No, Ryan. No, Ryan stepped closer. This is exactly what I meant when I said you act like you own the room. You do not get to solve this for me. Logan stopped. Then tell me what you want. Ryan opened his mouth and realized he did not know. What he wanted was 6 years of work without an asterisk beside it. What he wanted was to walk into meetings without wondering whether someone smelled him before they heard him. What he wanted was impossible to put in a memo. I want people to stop deciding I am less competent because of something that has nothing to do with my work. Logan's expression softened. So do I. This is not happening to you. No, Logan nodded. It is happening to you. Which means I follow your lead. Ryan looked at him. I might resign. The words surprised both of them. Logan's face changed instantly. Do not do that because of them. Ryan laughed without humor. You do not get to tell me why I stay either. Logan exhaled slowly. You are right. Ryan hated how much that answer hurt. He wanted an argument. Arguments were familiar. Instead, Logan said, if you leave because you want something better, I will understand. If you leave because people made you feel like your work became smaller overnight, I will hate that for you. Ryan looked away. Outside the office, two co-workers stopped talking when they saw him through the glass. That told him everything. Logan followed his gaze. Your work did not change this morning. Ryan swallowed. Their opinion did. Then make them prove they deserve to keep it. Ryan looked back at him. That sounds like something an alpha would say. Logan almost smiled. No, that sounds like something your rival would say. For the first time that morning, Ryan's anger shifted direction. Not gone. Focused. And somewhere beneath the humiliation, something else began to form. Not surrender. Decision. By Thursday afternoon, the rumor had reached senior leadership, and Ryan discovered there was one thing more irritating than office gossip. Executives pretending gossip was a business concern. He was called into a conference room at 4:30 with two managing directors, someone from human resources, and Logan seated at the opposite end of the table. Ryan immediately disliked the arrangement. This is unnecessary, he said as he sat down. One of the directors folded her hands. We need to address potential perception issues around the Mercer account. Ryan almost laughed. Perception issues. Logan looked at the ceiling for half a second, which Ryan recognized as his professional version of swearing. The director continued. Given recent information, there may be questions about whether project assignments were influenced by personal factors. Ryan felt his jaw tighten. My work is documented. No one is questioning your competence. You just invited me into a room to discuss whether my competence looks compromised because people discovered I am an omega. Silence. The human resources representative shifted slightly. We are trying to protect you. Ryan leaned back. That sentence has a terrible history. Logan finally spoke. The strategy lead should remain Ryan. The director looked at him. Logan, this concerns your judgment as well. Good. Then judge it. He slid a folder across the table. Every major decision on the account is time-stamped. Forecast revisions, market assumptions, rollout scenarios, client notes. Ryan built the core strategy. Ryan turned toward him. Logan did not look back. He kept his attention on leadership. My original forecast was weaker. One director frowned. That is not how the internal summary reads. Then the internal summary is wrong. Logan opened another document. Ryan corrected my conversion assumptions, identified the staffing bottleneck, and rebuilt the regional timeline. The client adopted his version. The human resources representative asked, Are you saying you had no influence over his role? Logan finally looked at Ryan, then back at the table. I influenced it by losing the argument. Ryan almost smiled. Almost. The director sighed. This is not about who won an argument. It should be, Logan said. That is how consulting works. The better analysis wins. Ryan watched him carefully. There was no grand defense. No claim that Ryan needed protection. Logan was doing something much more useful. He was making the work visible. The director tapped the folder. We were considering assigning the formal account lead to you until this settles. Ryan went still. Logan did too. No, Logan said. The room quieted. Excuse me. Do not give me his role because the office is uncomfortable with his secondary status. Ryan's pulse jumped. The director's expression cooled. We are trying to avoid the appearance of favoritism. Logan's voice remained calm. Then removing Ryan after the rumor started creates the exact appearance you should avoid. He pushed the folder farther across the table. He beat me. Give him the job. Ryan stared at him. No hesitation. No performance. Just fact. The human resources representative looked at Ryan. Would you want the role under these circumstances? Ryan felt every eye in the room settle on him. Yesterday, he had considered resigning. Today, walking away suddenly felt like letting strangers write the final line of his work. Yes, he said. His voice came out steady. I built the strategy. I want the role. The director studied him. And you are comfortable continuing to work with Logan? Ryan glanced across the table. Logan raised one eyebrow. Familiar and infuriating. Comfortable is a strong word. Logan's mouth twitched. Ryan continued. But professionally, yes. The tension broke just enough for someone to breathe. Leadership requested time to review the documentation. The meeting ended 20 minutes later. Ryan and Logan walked out together into the hallway. You gave up the lead, Ryan said. Logan adjusted his cuff. It was never mine. You were about to get it. For the wrong reason. Ryan stopped walking. Logan turned. You could have taken it. Yes. You wanted that promotion. Yes. Ryan stared at him. Then why? Logan's expression became unexpectedly simple. Because you earned it. Ryan looked away before the answer could do anything inconvenient to his face. Do not expect gratitude. I was hoping for a parade. You will get an email. With punctuation? Do not push it. Logan laughed softly. Ryan started walking again, and Logan fell into step beside him. For years, Ryan had feared that once people knew he was an Omega, every achievement would become negotiable. That afternoon, the one person with the most to gain from that doubt had refused to use it. Rivalry had always taught Ryan how Logan handled competition. Now he was learning something more dangerous: how Logan handled fairness. The next morning, Ryan opened his employee profile and stared at the field he had avoided for years. Secondary gender. He had always told himself the beta designation was practical, easier, cleaner. One less reason for people to make assumptions before he opened his mouth. Now the word looked less like protection and more like something he had outgrown. Dr. Hart had not told him to change it. Logan had not asked. Human resources had not forced him. That mattered. Ryan clicked at it. His cursor hovered for several seconds. Then he changed beta to Omega and saved the profile. No dramatic music. No announcement. Just one quiet click. His phone buzzed almost immediately, and for one ridiculous second, he wondered whether the entire company had received an alert. It was Mia. You alive? Ryan smiled. Barely. She replied, proud of you. He put the phone face down before that sentence could become emotional. At 9, Ryan walked into the office expecting every conversation to stop. None did. A few people looked at him longer than usual. One colleague smiled awkwardly. Another said good morning and kept walking. Derek appeared beside his desk holding 2 coffees. I brought caffeine and prepared 3 insulting responses in case anyone says something stupid. Ryan accepted the cup. Only 3. I am pacing myself. Logan arrived 5 minutes later carrying a stack of client notes. He stopped beside Ryan's desk. Morning. Ryan waited. Logan looked at him. What? Nothing. You are staring. I am waiting for you to make this weird. Logan frowned. Did I miss a meeting? Ryan leaned back. I updated my profile. Logan's expression shifted with recognition. Okay. Ryan stared at him. Okay. Would you prefer applause? No, a commemorative plaque. Absolutely not. Then okay seems efficient. Ryan hated how relieved that made him feel. Logan set the notes on the desk. Also, your staffing model is wrong. Ryan blinked. There it is. You overestimated the West Coast team's availability by 12%. Ryan opened the spreadsheet. That is impossible. Logan pointed at a cell. You used last quarter's utilization. Ryan checked it and swore internally. Fine. Logan smiled. I am framing this moment. Do that, and I will deny it under oath. Everything was exactly the same. That was the strange part. Ryan had spent years expecting disclosure to rearrange the room around him. Instead, Logan argued about numbers. Derek stole half his breakfast. Meetings started late, and someone from legal still used 17 slides to explain something that needed 4. By lunch, Ryan realized he had been waiting for a transformation that never came. Or maybe it had come quietly. He was the one who felt different. Lighter. That afternoon, leadership confirmed him as formal lead on the Mercer account. The email was short, almost offensively ordinary. Ryan read it twice. Then a third time. Logan leaned over the divider between their desks. You are smiling. Ryan immediately stopped. No, I am not. That was definitely a smile. Go away. Congratulations, Carter. The teasing disappeared from his voice. Ryan looked up. Thank you. Logan nodded once. No mention of Omega. No mention of the rumor. No suggestion that Ryan had overcome anything. Just congratulations for work he had earned. Later, as they walked toward the elevators, Ryan said, You know what is annoying? Logan pressed the call button. This should be a long list. I thought everything would change once people knew. Logan glanced at him. Did it? Ryan considered the day. Not the things that matter. The elevator doors opened. Logan stepped aside and let Ryan enter first. Then maybe you were hiding from the wrong thing. Ryan looked at him. That sounded almost wise. Do not tell anyone. I have a reputation. Ryan laughed softly. As the doors closed, he caught the faint edge of Logan's scent and, for once, did not tense. His body remembered. His mind remembered now too. But neither one was making the decision for him. That part belonged entirely to Ryan. Ryan waited 3 days before asking the question he had been avoiding for weeks. He chose a quiet coffee shop near the office because neutral territory felt safer than either of their apartments, and because public places made it harder to accidentally turn an honest conversation into an argument. Logan arrived first, which Ryan found suspicious. "You are early," Ryan said as he sat down. "You sound disappointed. I am adjusting to this new version of you." Logan pushed a coffee toward him. "No sugar. Extra shot." Ryan looked at the cup. "You remembered. You order the same thing every morning. That is not the point." Logan smiled. "I know." Ryan wrapped both hands around the cup and immediately regretted choosing coffee because now he had something to hide behind. Logan noticed. "Of course he did. You asked me here," he said. "I did. And now you are staring at foam like it insulted your family." Ryan exhaled. "Was it the scent?" Logan's expression changed. "No teasing. No easy answer. Was what the scent? Do not make me repeat it." Logan leaned back slightly, giving Ryan space even across the table. Ryan continued before courage became expensive. "Was that why you wanted me around? Why you noticed me? Why you kept competing with me? Was it just because some alpha part of your brain decided I smelled familiar?" Logan was quiet for several seconds. "No," Ryan looked up. "That was fast. Because I have already thought about it." And Logan folded his hands on the table. The scent explained why that stairwell memory came back so clearly. It did not explain why you irritated me before I ever knew you were an Omega. Ryan narrowed his eyes. "You are making irritation sound affectionate. I am trying to be accurate." "Dangerous habit." Logan's mouth twitched. "Do you remember your first month at the firm? Unfortunately, you corrected my revenue forecast in front of 12 executives." Ryan almost smiled. "It was wrong. You said that publicly. It was still wrong. Then you smiled." Ryan pointed at him. "You keep inventing that part." "You absolutely smiled." Logan leaned forward slightly. "I went home that night furious." "Good. And then I spent 2 hours rebuilding the model because I wanted to prove you wrong." Ryan lifted an eyebrow. "That sounds normal." "The problem was that when I realized you were right, I was excited to argue with you again." Ryan's expression softened before he could stop it. Logan continued. "The scent came later. You were already under my skin by then." Ryan looked toward the window. "That sounds almost romantic. I can make it worse if you want." "Please do not." Logan smiled. Ryan took a sip of coffee and let the silence settle. "So if I had been a beta," he asked, "I still would have wanted to beat you in every meeting. And if I had been an alpha, I would still hate your formatting choices." Ryan laughed despite himself. Logan's voice softened. "And I still would have wanted you." Ryan looked back at him. There it was. No instinct. No claim. Just a choice stated plainly enough to be frightening. "You know what bothers me?" Ryan asked. "Only one thing. I spent years making sure nobody could reduce me to being an Omega." Logan nodded. "I know. And then you recognized me by scent before anything else." "No," Ryan frowned. Logan continued. "I recognized the memory by scent. I recognized you because nobody else has ever made me want to lose an argument and schedule another one immediately." Ryan stared at him. "That is the worst confession I have ever heard." "You are smiling." "I am not." "You are." Ryan shook his head, but the smile stayed. "Fine. One dinner." Logan blinked. "What?" "Do not make me take it back." Logan recovered quickly. "Dinner. Friday. 7. I will pick the place." Ryan immediately shook his head. "Absolutely not." Logan laughed. "There he is." Ryan leaned back, finally feeling the tension ease. His body had remembered Logan first. That much was true. But sitting across from him now, Ryan understood the difference between recognition and decision. One happened without permission. The other was entirely his. 1 month later, Ryan and Logan stood on opposite sides of another conference table, which was apparently what dating looked like when both people considered winning a professional argument a form of recreation. Their teams had spent 3 weeks preparing competing strategies for a new client, and Ryan had just finished presenting his recommendation to senior leadership. Logan sat across from him with his arms folded, expression unreadable. Ryan knew that expression. It meant Logan had found something to challenge. "You disagree," Ryan said. Logan lifted one eyebrow. "I have not said anything." "Your face did." Derek, seated near the end of the table, whispered, "I missed this." Ryan ignored him. "Go ahead." Logan looked at the financial model on the screen. "Your customer acquisition forecast is aggressive." Ryan smiled. "You told me 6 months ago that I was too cautious." "People grow." "You mean you ran out of valid criticism?" A few people around the table laughed. Logan looked offended in a way Ryan knew was entirely fake. I have several valid criticisms. Name one. Logan opened his notes. Your regional advertising budget assumes an 8% efficiency gain by Q3. Ryan pointed toward the appendix. Page 42. Logan flipped to it, read for several seconds, and went quiet. Ryan leaned back. Take your time. Derek covered his mouth with one hand. Logan looked up. I hate you. Ryan smiled. No, you do not. Logan's eyes softened for half a second. Professionally, I am reconsidering. The meeting ended 20 minutes later with Ryan's strategy approved. He gathered his laptop while colleagues filed out, offering congratulations. Derek paused beside him. You know Logan is going to spend the entire evening explaining why technically this was not a loss. I know. And you are still dating him. I make questionable decisions. Clearly. Derek left. Ryan slipped his laptop into his bag and caught the faint scent of rain and cedar as Logan approached. A month ago, that would have made him tense immediately. Now he simply noticed it. Logan stopped beside him. Congratulations. Ryan looked suspicious. That sounded sincere. Do not get used to it. Too late. Logan glanced toward the empty conference room. For the record, I still think the 8% assumption is ambitious. For the record, you approved the supporting model last week. Logan paused. Ryan smiled slowly. You forgot. I was testing you. You are terrible at losing. And yet you keep inviting me to dinner. Ryan zipped his bag. That depends on whether you admit my strategy was better. Logan shook his head immediately. Absolutely not. Then dinner is canceled. Ryan started toward the door. Logan followed. That is emotional manipulation. That is consequences. 7 o'clock? Ryan kept walking. Maybe. Carter. Read. 7. Ryan stopped near the elevators and turned. Logan was smiling now. Not the competitive smirk Ryan had hated for almost 2 years, but the quieter one he had learned belonged only to moments when neither of them was pretending. Ryan caught the faint edge of his own uncovered scent in the air. He had reduced his blockers gradually under Dr. Hart's supervision, and the world had not ended. Logan noticed too. Ryan saw the recognition flicker across his face. But Logan did not step closer, did not comment, did not treat the scent like permission. He only pressed the elevator button. Ryan watched him for a second. What? Logan asked. Nothing. Logan smiled. You are terrible at nothing. Ryan laughed. Dinner at 7. I thought it was canceled. You are on probation. For losing. For refusing to admit it. The elevator doors opened. They stepped inside together. Logan glanced at him. You know, when I first smelled you, I thought my instincts were telling me something important. Ryan leaned against the wall. They were. Logan looked surprised. Ryan continued. They were telling you that you had finally found the person who was going to beat your forecasts for the rest of your career. Logan laughed. That is not what I meant. It is what happened. The doors opened on the lobby level. Ryan walked out first. Logan fell into step beside him. Outside, evening traffic moved through Manhattan under a sky turning gold between the buildings. Ryan looked at the man who had once been a voice in a dark stairwell, then a rival, then a problem, then something far more complicated. His body had remembered Logan before his mind did. That part had happened without permission. Everything after that had been different. Trust had been chosen. Respect had been earned. Dinner had been agreed to after several unnecessary arguments. Logan reached the corner and looked at him. 7. Ryan nodded. 7. Recognition might have started the story, but choice was the reason Ryan kept walking beside him.